guys, welcome to Intro to Italian. I will be your virtual tutor today, and I am a new volunteer at Interns for Good. So let's get started. So this lesson is made for anyone 11 plus. In this lesson, you guys will be able to acquire basics of the Italian language, important rules of grammar, and sentence structuring. So let's watch this video before we dive into the lesson. So I cut the video short just for this lesson because it's long, so you guys can feel free to watch it on your own. So the video is a compilation of pictures and videos from the city of Venice in Italy. It's one of my favorite cities to visit, and it's a beautiful country with a beautiful language. So let's get started to learning Italian. So we're going to start with the Italian alphabet. The Italian alphabet consists of the same letters as the English alphabet, but the pronunciation of each letter is a bit different. Let's take a look at the next slide. So you can see here, I placed the letter on the left side of each column, and then the pronunciation on the right side of each column. So let's go through all the pronunciations together, just so you guys know how to pronounce them. A, B, C, D, E, F, H, I, L, M, N, O, Q, R, S, T, U, V, or VU, Zeta. Now, these are all letters that appear. Let's see. So these are all letters that appear in foreign words or foreign origin. So we can go through these as well. J is pronounced as ilonga, K is pronounced as kappa, W is pronounced as W, X is pronounced as weeks, X, Y is pronounced as Y or Y. Again, these are letters that appear in words that aren't Italian. So you guys can watch this video to really understand the pronunciation of each letter. It's just the Italian alphabet song, so feel free to do that on your own as well. So you guys can fill out this chart. It's just the Italian alphabet, same as the chart from this slide, but it's really going to test your knowledge to see if you guys acquired the Italian alphabet and know your letters. So great job at learning the Italian alphabet. Now we're going to look at basic conversational vocab, which is really important so that you guys can start formulating your own sentences and phrases in Italian. So basic conversational language to know. On the bolded sides, you see here everywhere, bolded are the Italian words. Then on the side that isn't bolded is the English translation. So let's go through the Italian words and their translations. No is no. Buongiorno is good morning. Buonasera, good evening. Buonanotte, good night. Mi dispiace, I'm sorry. Piacere, pleased to meet you. Piace, per favore, please. Grazie, thank you. Bene, good. Contento, happy. Male, bad. La famiglia, family. Parlare, to talk. Prego, you're welcome. Ciao, hello or goodbye. Arrivederci, goodbye. Chi, who, che cosa, what, dove, where, perché, why, sì, yes, mi scusi, excuse me, quando, when, a domani, I'll see you tomorrow. So feel free to go along with me and pronounce these words. It's really going to help you guys formulate sentences and understand vocabulary faster if you guys pronounce it with me. So this is a bunch of vocab that you guys should become familiar with. Now, this is a great website. I can click it to show you what's on this website. It's a bunch of more phrases, common phrases to know, which is really, really important, again, to becoming fluent eventually in Italian. So let's go back to the presentation. So now we're going to learn about basic conversational phrases and questions to become familiar with. So we have the question here on this top and the response or translation on the bottom here. You can see it. So let's go through all the questions with the responses in Italian. Come ti chiami? What is your name? Mi chiamo. My name is. Come stai? How are you? Bene grazie. I am good. E tu? And you? Bene grazie. I am good. Posso andare al bagno? May I go to the bathroom? Sì, yes. No, no. Posso bere l'acqua? May I drink water? Sì, yes. No, no. Di dove sei? Where are you from? Sono di. I am from. Come va? What's up? Bene grazie. I am good. Another way you guys can practice this is finding a partner or a parent or a friend, doesn't matter, and just going through the questions and translations and the responses together and forming your own conversation with them. Really speaking it out, pronouncing each letter, again, is really going to help. So now let's move on to adjectives that you guys should become familiar with. You can see that I put all the Italian words on this side. And then on the right side, you have the translations. You can see that as well. So there's a lot here, so you guys should go through these on your own. I don't want to take up too much time, but we can go through the first few. Bella, brutto, divertimento, intelligente. The IN is cut off, but there's an IN there. Studioso, debolo, forte, magro, grasso, giovane, vecchio, basso, alto, and you guys can go on. If you need any help with translations or the way to pronounce it, you guys can look it up on Google Translate and just press the button where the robot will tell you how to pronounce it. But yeah, these are all the adjectives you guys should become familiar with. So let's move on. And don't mind too much the slash right now with the O and the A. We'll get to that later in the lesson. So adjectives and basic vocab continued. Here I just listed a few websites for you guys to look at. This bottom link is a video to 1,000 basic words and expressions to know in Italian. It's a great video to practice over time. Definitely look at it. And I put some games here. It's a 4-in-a-row game, a list of adjectives, rules and adjectives explained. There's a lot you guys can do. So now that you guys have a good understanding of basic vocabulary, we're going to move on to the days of the weeks, months, and seasons. Days of the week. Days of the week are Domenica, Lunedì, Martedì, Mercoledì, Giovedì, Sabato. Notice how none of the days of the week are capitalized, and also notice how the days of the week start on Sunday. Sunday is the day that they start in the Italian calendar. It doesn't start from Monday, which is unlike America. On the bottom right side here, there's a video going through all the days of the week. You guys can also look at that. Seasons in Italian. So there are 4 seasons, just like in America and all over the world. There are 4 seasons. And spring is primavera, summer is estate, autunno is autumn, inverno is winter. The A is a bit cut off there, but there is an A right before the U. And you guys can also watch this video on your own that goes through the seasons in Italian. Months in Italian.
Beyond 4 seasons, every year has 12 months, or mesi.
So yes, the Italian word for months is mesi, as the video just said. And here I put the months in Italian. We can go through them together so you know the pronunciations for each. Gennaio, febbraio, marzo, aprile, maggio, giugno, luglio, agosto, settembre, ottobre, novembre, dicembre. So those were all the months in Italian. The video goes more in depth with that, takes a slower look at pronunciation, so you guys can also take a look at that. But it's long, so we're not going to do it for this lesson. So you guys can test your knowledge on the days of the week, the months, and seasons in Italian by filling out all these charts. Here you're going to put the days of the week in Italian, the months in Italian, and the seasons in Italian. Try not to look back at the slides. Really test your knowledge on what you guys have learned. Wow, you guys have learned a lot. Keep up the good work. We're going to move forward and learn about some rules that will help us become pros at beginner's Italian. So when writing in Italian, there are many rules. Just like grammar rules in English, there are rules in Italian. And the Italian language, a main point is that it distinguishes many words by gender. If a word ends with O, this means the word is masculine. If a word ends with A, this means the word is feminine. So, for example, bello is masculine, bella is feminine. Let's say a person's writing, I am beautiful, and let's say they identify as a girl. Then they would state, io sono bella, which means I am beautiful. Some irregular words, which aren't regular words, ends with ione, which is feminine, and ore, which is masculine. In order to differentiate words from plural to singular, for example, singular word is he, she. Plural would be they, all of them, you all. You have to look at words' endings. Singular words will end with either O or A. Remember, A is feminine, O is masculine. And plural words will end with I or E. Here we have a chart, and I put the singular words endings on this side, and the masculine, plural, and feminine, plural endings on this side. So masculine singular words that end with O will go to I. Again, I is a masculine plural ending, and then feminine singular words that end with A will go to E. This is really basic, but it's a lot of information to take in, so take your time and review this as many times as you need. It might be a little difficult at first to understand. So now we're going to move on to subject pronouns. Subject pronouns are something we use in English too, in multiple languages all over the world. They tell us the person that we are talking about, just like in English. These words include I, she, he, they, and etc. In order to start speaking Italian, we need to know the subject pronouns. On the right here, I put a chart of all the subject pronouns in Italian with subject pronoun translation in English. If you want a deeper look into subject pronouns, you guys can press this link here, which I'll press for you now, to show you what's here. It's just an in-depth explanation of subject pronouns by Collins Dictionary, which is a really good resource when learning Italian. So you guys can look at that. But back to the presentation. You guys need to take a deeper look into subject pronouns, and here are examples of subject pronouns. Io is I, tu is you, lei, she, lui, he, noi, we, voi, you all, loro, they. And here I put examples of the subject pronouns. Conjugations. Now that you guys understand subject pronouns, we have to move on to conjugations. Now let's go back to the slide once before. Notice how I underlined these words. These words are conjugated verbs that all come from an unconjugated verb, essere. Don't worry too much about essere right now because that is part of irregular verbs, which might be a little difficult to understand right now. But the main point is that those underlined words are important to every sentence in Italian. They are conjugated words. Words are conjugated to fit every sentence. The underlined verbs in the past slide all come from the same verb, essere, which means to be. Every conjugated verb follows its subject pronouns, which means that every subject pronoun usually has its own conjugation of the verb. We will go over some basic conjugation rules for basic verbs and endings on the next slide. You guys can use this link to go over conjugations, and this is for more advanced learners who think they're ready to look at irregular verbs like essere. Conjugations continued. So when looking at verb conjugations, we want to look at regular verb endings first, which include ARE verb endings, ERE verb endings, and IRE verb endings. These endings have different conjugations for most subject pronouns. So let's go on to the next slide where we break down these endings. ARE verbs. ARE verbs include mangiare, cantare, comprare, cucinare. The conjugation endings are seen right here in this table. So you can see the subject pronouns are here and the endings of every verb that you use. So let's say you use mangiare, right? Let's go through the example of mangiare. Io mangio, so we cut off the ARE and we put an O, and we do this for all the sentences. So io mangio, which means I eat, tu mangi, which means you eat, and notice how you do not double I's. That's also a major rule throughout all endings. Lei mangi, she eats, lui mangi, he eats, noi mangiamo, we eat, voi mangiate, you all eat, loro mangiano, they eat. A tip for conjugations is using a stem and a leaf, or stem and a flower. Let's say this top part, ARE, is a flower, and the stem is what you keep. The flower is always continuously changing. So that's the part that you're always changing when including subject pronouns. So the stem is all the way up to mangi, and then this is the flower. That's continuously changing. You guys can feel free to look at ERE verbs, which are basically the same as ARE verbs with a few changes on the endings. But make sure to use these links to look at those. Same with IRE verbs, same process, but just different endings. You guys should really become familiar with these endings and start memorizing them. This is one of the parts that you have to memorize, just like grammar rules that we memorize in English. So now you guys can practice your conjugating skills by formulating these sentences. Try to write out the translation in Italian using conjugated verbs for she eats, they eat, you all eat, etc. Good luck, guys, and have fun doing this, and try to do this with more verbs on the links here. It's something you guys really have to practice over time. Now we can move on to our final topic. We're going to be looking at numbers. So on the next slide, we're going to look at a video from numbers 1 to 100, and you guys can also press the link in the title for a deeper look into numbers. Here you just have numbers in Italian study guide, which is really great to look at, numbers 1 to 100 to memorize numbers as well. So, numbers in Italian. I put the numbers from 1 to 10 right here in Italian, and then this video is quite lengthy. It's, I think about, let's see, it's about 9 minutes long, but it goes through all the numbers in Italian, so we can go through numbers 1 through 10 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job, guys. Remember to follow along with numbers as well. So here's the appendix. I put great resources for you guys to look at when you want to study more, practice more, but also play some games. So here is a link for looking at different rules with conjugations, and there's also a video. Some of the conjugations here are for irregular verbs, which is again a little harder, so you guys can wait to do that. Then I also have Fun Games website here, and it has a lot of topics to choose from that you guys should also start looking at: fruit and vegetables, colors, spelling games, etc. And then I also have a website where you guys can read some fairy tales in Italian. So let's say you want to read The Little Red Riding Hood, and here you have it in Italian, and you can also translate it, and it has the translation below, and it also has an audio
Cappuccetto rosso.
it, which is great to learning Italian. You guys should start listening to Italian, watching some movies in Italian. It will really help. And then finally, there's a YouTube link to Essential Conversation. You guys made it. Great job at getting through this Italian lesson. I know it was super lengthy, but there's a great video to watch here about Italian culture. You guys should take a look at it. But anyway, bye guys.